I have never seen such a concerted effort on the part of the GOP and the Republicans to waste your time with stuff that doesn't even matter, to make you think that somehow you should be interested in Kevin McCarthy and who gets to be the speaker again. They have taken this absolutely unbelievably insignificant story regarding the speaker and they've reduced it to nothing. They've reduced it to nothing. Where is this? Where is it compelling you? These are the biggest bunch of wimps I have ever seen. They are talking about parliamentary rules and Chatham rules and this pretend Beltway, Capitol Hill world that no one relates to or cares about. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, welcome. But where are our efforts? Where are our real issues being discussed? I don't understand it. Let me start off with something first. And I'm going to make sure you understand what I'm saying. In case you've just tuned in, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a member of a party. I think parties are stupid. I don't use labels. If you can reduce anything to a label, it must not be much of a concept. That simple. I mean, there are very few labels that I use that are even remotely relevant as to anything that even applies. So I don't know what these labels mean and I'm not a conservative. I don't know where this came from. I want to reiterate, I want to explain, I want to reasseverate my ideology so that you understand specifically what it is, okay? You understand it? Let me explain this to you. First and foremost, rather than advancing my particular ideology, my particular way of thinking, I want to politically crush, destroy, decimate, obliterate, pulverize, atomize, just annihilate this group of people, whoever they are. I don't know who they are. I don't know what they want. I don't know what they're about. I have no earthly idea. There's all kinds of cute names for them, but it doesn't really mean a lot. I don't know what it means. I don't know what you're supposed to call these people. I don't care, but I want them eliminated. They are destroying what is left of my country. You can call it the swamp. You can call it the left, the woke left, whatever you want, whatever word means. This is important. I don't care. That's the only thing I want. And as far as what these other clowns are, I don't know what they stand for. Now, let me see if I can explain this to you. Nobody gives a rat's ass about Kevin McCarthy. Nobody. He has BB-sized huevos, curione, intestinal fortitude. He has no backbone. I read this article today, scanned it. It said, why didn't the Democrats bail out Kevin McCarthy? I'm saying, what? Why didn't they bail out Kevin McCarthy? Why would they do this? Why would they do this? What? And they said, because he capitulated regarding January 6th. He wasn't strong enough. These are the biggest bunch of wussies I've ever seen in my life. Number one, say whatever you want about January 6th. I'm telling you, you know it, I know it. It was disgraceful. It was trashy. It was so, I don't know. People love to say this. Where were the federal agents? The federal agents are always there. Where have you been? There are confidential informants, people working off charges. There are moles and drug dealings. This is the way the cops, the fuzz, the man, the heat. I get it. And I love these, all of a sudden, these newfound, hey, I'm a conservative talk show host. I figured this out. There were feds there. Jesus, where have you been? Did they organize it? Well, I don't know if they organized it. But the fact that they were there means nothing. But something is weird, and we'll never get to the bottom of this because we'll never get to the fact of who these people are. Let me explain something to you. Okay? If ever you are with an organization and somebody comes along and they say, I'm going to show you, I'm going to join you, but I'm going to show them how it's done. Let's say you're a bunch of, in the old days, there were things like women empowerment groups and women empowerment. And now there was one recently where they were overtaken by these scores of drag, violent, scary looking people. But if you have somebody in your group who tends to be a louder, more virulent version of what you're saying, be very careful of that person. Be very careful of that person and be very, very concerned as to whether they're upping. The Proud Boys started off as this thing, Gavin McInnes, this very, very kind of, sort of innocuous, not innocuous, but almost a playful, whatever, seriously, boorish, loud. Remember, who was it? Ann Coulter, the original Proud Boy, whatever this was. I don't even know what they were about. The latter version of it, I don't know who these people are, but this looks like the brown shirt crew. Eye patches, pretending to be. If you don't see the infiltration of that, not from the feds, you don't have to. If you take a piece of bread and you moisten it and put it, just leave it out, the mold will come. You don't have to do anything. That's how you make a starter. There are these people who glom onto this. I swear to you, have an organization. Watch this. I can start something tomorrow. I can say something. I can put the word out. White, give me a name. White, Christian, patriots, give me something like Proud Boys, New Seekers, Truth Finders, Truth, whatever it is. I can just set this up. I just came up with a name. Sit back and watch what happens. Wait till you see what shows up. I don't have to recruit anybody. You're going to say, oh my God, people who don't know, people who have nothing to attach to. Okay, fine. Those people on January 6th in no way threatened the ruination and the destabilization and insurrection and the rebellion of our country. Okay? I don't know what they accomplished. I don't know what they are. Whatever they wanted to do, whatever you think they are, whenever you see a Gadsden flag, idiot. Don't tread on me, idiot. A lot of waving, idiot. The Tree of Liberty is idiot. 1776, idiot. Remember the Tea Party people? Idiots. They remove the notion of the Constitution and patriotism and they reduce it. So these aren't the feds. You don't need the feds. Feds are watching this. When you've got idiots willing to do it. If you stood in front of the cameras and say, everybody bring battering rams and catapults, I swear to God, you'll see thousands of people show up with battering rams and catapults. You'll do it. They're just there. So let me just explain this to you. It's easy. There's nothing to this. This is not some insurrectionist underground movement. They're de minimis. They don't count. They're comical. But what they did was constitutionally protected. Maybe not the trespassing. We can go through each particular one, whether they were let in. I'll let you figure this one out. But what that was constitutionally protected. The speech, There's no insurrection. There's no insurrection. I don't care if you scream, yell, whatever it is. Forget entering the Capitol. Stop it. And what McCarthy didn't do is he didn't have the balls to sit there and say, now, wait a minute. This country, for the longest time, since its inception, has had some pretty scary looking people. And the scariness has to do with the ferocity and the degree of commitment to the cause. There's nothing that ever excuses violence, but I am not going to turn my back on the First Amendment. I am not going to turn my back on free speech, and I'm not going to turn my back on expression because you don't like these folks or you think they're scary. And as far as we know, we still don't know anything about Ashley Babbitt. Nothing's ever happened. And you know what? Because Jim Jordan and all these other phonies aren't doing anything. Jim Jordan is the biggest phony who's ever lived. And by the way, one more thing. I got to say this to you. I don't know why, but I am on, I guess once you like something on YouTube, which I got my second Hannity thing today. If you get a chance, first, I just have to give this gratuitous thing. Whenever you want to just ruin the severity, the sobriety, the intelligence of any event, make it a studio audience with a bunch of people who want to catch footballs. This is the biggest bunch of yokels I've ever seen in my life. This is like, what do they bust these people in with a box lunch from what? From Bayonne? Forget Bayonne. Wonderful place. From wherever it is. Binghamton? Wonderful place. I'm trying to think of Ho-Hocus. Who are these people? Yeah, I love you, Sean. I love you. Who are these people? We're a man, I'm a Republican. Yeah. Oh, my God. Look at the studio audience of Firing Line. Very smart universities. These are idiots. Are you that desperate? We got to have that? Oh, my God. So anyway, the man with the longest introductions, the introductions are the show. They have some poor schmuck on who just sits there who says, are you going to call on me anytime? And he goes through the history of all this stuff. By the way, in City, it says Jim is allergic to suit jackets. That whole thing is run its course. By the way, as a friend of mine said, now he's going to roll up his sleeves. Thank you. They're in Sid. So anyway, make a long story short, if you get a chance, look at this milquetoast, wimpy, impuissant, mealy-mouthed nonsense where he said, "No, here's my choice for Speaker of the House." Oh, thank God! Oh, finally we're gonna hear. Finally, we're gonna hear your. Oh, tell us, dear leader. Tell us, oh Poobah. Tell us. We've been waiting for you to tell us. What does this guy know? What does he know? What does anybody know? So anyway, he goes through this list of the usual Chip Roy and blah, blah, blah. Chip Roy, by the way, is a buffoon. This guy is just, he's this cursing, rough. Do you like this? Is this your idea of your man? Anyway. He says, "No, I understand Steve Scalise is a good guy, but I'm worried about his health." Excuse me. What was that? What was that, Sean? Say that again. Well, I'm just worried about his health. All right. You're worried about his health. He's telling you he can do this. All right. This man took a bullet from some lunatic, and now he's will. You mean to tell me, seriously, are you serious? You're honestly, you're telling me when the Democrats have Nancy Pelosi, who's out of her mind, Steny Hoyer, he's 109, so old he farts dust, Biden, who doesn't know where he is, Dianne Feinstein, who was clinically dead in at least 12 states, Fetterman, these people who are they're not rationally, cognitively, neurologically, emotionally, socially, involved in any of this stuff. You seriously mean to tell me you're kidding me? You mean to tell me that you're worried about Steve Scalise, who said, "Okay, I'll do it," that everybody loves and likes? What? So you want to pick Jim Jordan, who's the biggest dog and pony show? He hasn't done one thing Yet, nothing with Fauci, nothing with Merrick Garland, nothing with with Zuckerberg, nothing with the TikTok guy, nothing with anybody. Then you got John Kennedy, who just loves these comedy moments. I'm gonna read you a child's book that has pornographic recitations of ideas that I find most disgusting. Let me read from you, if you don't mind, Madam Chairman. If you don't mind. Oh, it's a constitutional. Good. I'm gonna pretend this is a book. Lube me up with cream cheese, mama. Pickle my body with bean cherries and knock them off with a slingshot at 20 feet as I squat over a cactus and pick up small change the hard way. Make me take a level of brine shrimp, coat my nether regions with it, and squat over a goldfish bowl. Now I ask you, is this appropriate for children? Stop it. John McGuire couldn't get higher says, fun fact of the nearly 500 bills introduced in the House this year, 96% of them passed along bipartisan lines. In short, it's kind of like everything is just a show. Absolutely. I am so sick and tired of wasting our time, and you're being told that somehow you, as a good American, you have to what? What? We live in a world. We're in. I don't even. There's so much wrong with everything. Let me just stop, if you don't mind, shall we? You don't mind? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, please subscribe to my channel. Please make sure you are aware of this. You hit that little like button, because like is a wonderful part that says your affirmation, your approbation, your asseveration of the relevance and perspicacity of my show. Now, let me explain something to you. I'm a firm believer in food, emergency food, when all hell breaks loose. When the Costco and the Piggly Wiggly and the Acme and the Kroger and the Publix and the cash and carry, when all closes down. And you find yourself without the ability to fill your belly, to keep your crying children happy. And that's why Prepare with Lionel, and there's a link right there. I have a link for you. I have a link right here for you. Makes the most sense. Right now, they've got 25% off a 3-month emergency food kit. Praise God. I don't know what you need in terms of an invitation. Perhaps maybe I can wax Vatic, wax Pythonic, read the entrails of the beast and augur the future. But I'm telling you, as sure as I'm sitting here, ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be a food emergency. And you're going to go to your cupboard. You're going to say, what do we have, Mama? Mama, what do we have? Well, we got Pop-Tarts. I got some pasta. Mama, we've had pasta now for 4 days. What else do you have? Well, I don't have Mama, didn't you know about this? Well, I did. Didn't that Lionel fellow have that Prepare with Lionel? Why didn't you do that, Mama? Well, I just thought he was exaggerating. Now, this is our fault. We can't have any more of this spaghetti. You understand it? We're going crazy. And we're just 4 days into this. He has something for 3 months. 3 months with a 25-year shelf life. And we could have had 21 varieties of lunches, dinners, and suppers, and all kinds of snacks and wonderful variety. And what am I got here? I got a bunch of banana chips and prunes. Mama, we can't take this anymore. Don't find yourself in that quandary. Preparewithlionel.com. Do it right now. Please don't hesitate. Don't tarry. Don't tarry. Accelerate. Never prevaricate. Peregrinate, locomote, move as fast as you can. Preparewithlionel.com. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm so tired of this nonsense. Insidious says, not a lawyer, but was a bank regulator. 12 CFR 34 requires banks obtain certified appraisals on transactions over $1 million. How is this happening? Real estate. Mr. Insidious, thank you so much. May I ask you? May I say something? And you make up a very, very good point. We're talking about, obviously, about Mr. Trump. And here is a problem. The problem is, I have said repeatedly, and by the way, if you're new, welcome. How about giving our good friend, if he's new, bless your heart. If you're not new, well, welcome anyway. This is very, very important. Let me see if I can explain this to you. We got it right here. 6312. Oh, here we go. New York Executive Law 6312. That's section 63 paren 12. Does not require a demonstration. I'm going to be doing this all day. Does not require a demonstration of harm. Does not require the establishment of Mr. Trump's intent to commit defraud or to defraud. It doesn't necessitate the state proving the actual occurrence of fraud. The law doesn't oblige the verification of reliance, like an estoppel theory. Does not oblige the verification of the reliance on the defendant's misrepresentations by creditors or financial institutions. The assessment of the materiality of these misrepresentations or the confirmation of whether anyone has genuinely been deceived. Instead, the state's sole responsibility of the prosecution, in essence, is to demonstrate that a defendant consistently and repeatedly made false claims with sufficient persistence and repetition to affect at least two individuals. It's essential to understand that the term affected in this context has a broader and distinct meaning and does not necessarily equate to harmed. So what I'm telling you, dear friend, is that this is something nobody's ever seen before. And Newsweek today, by the way, Newsweek, Trump's finally cracking. He's not cracking. He's pissed off. It's called empingado, to use the West Tampa term. He's upset. Good. And because there's no jury, he can look at the judge and shake his head and say, what are you doing to me? What Donald Trump needs to do, like I've told you, first of all, he's got to say a gag order. A gag order? Wait a minute. There's no jury here. And quit saying that they made a mistake. Hamana, for his lawyer, did not make a mistake. There's no jury for this. There's nothing to check up. There's no jury. So quit saying, well, you should have asked for a jury trial. He's already basically granted summary judgment. He's already said, listen, you're guilty. The rest of this is just kind of academic. But this is, he's got to go and he's got to say, if he really can do this, help me do this, is sit there and say, I live in the United States of America, last time I checked. And under the First Amendment of the Constitution, I'm on trial and they're telling me that I can't talk to you because I said something that they think is nasty about a clerk who took a picture with Chuck Schumer. Big effing deal. BFD. What? I'm on trial for my life. This is my business. This is my name. You're taking it all from me and nobody has complained. Let me explain this. And I'm going to keep talking. Throw me in jail. Throw me in jail. And whatever you do, Mr. Trump, do not say, and if you believe in me, come down and protest. No, because they will get the jackboots out. They will recreate January 6th, guarantee. In fact, it'll happen. They don't even have to. It'll just happen. Remember the moldy bread thing? Donald Trump has to be able to tell people, you don't understand something. He's got to sit at a desk like this. Just talk to you I don't know why he doesn't do this. I've been saying this since before 2020. He should have done this as soon as he got in there and said, I am being charged with a fraud and nobody's complained. Do you understand what I'm saying? Nobody's complained. Let me say this again, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody's complained. There's no victim. None. None. Let me say this again. I don't know if you understand this. Let me see if I can put it to you this way. Imagine there's a knock at the door. There's a policeman. You're under arrest. For what? For assault and battery. Who did it? Nobody. What? Do you have a victim? No. Wait a minute. But you said you were going to do it and you claim, wait a minute. I said I was going to do it. I said you almost got into an accident. You're under. Now, reckless driving is one thing. There's no victim. There's nobody hurt. None. 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 The banks have said he's fine. He sold properties for worth more than it was stated. Doesn't matter. This judge has it out for him. And if recusal doesn't apply here, I don't even know what does. In the old days, this was the deal. It works like this. Number one, any reason, and there are different statutes, but if you say, I want the judge to recuse, sounds like refuse, but it's RECU, to step down. All you have to do is make the claim. And if the motion is well-founded, meaning if the motion meets all of the criteria, it must be granted. You don't have to explain to the judge, I think you're biased. No, I'm not. Now, the second judge that you get, good luck. When you've got a guy like this and you've got somebody online, I want that case to be 150 million% above board. We don't need you. If I'm going to get Trump, if that's my goal, listen to me carefully. If I want to get Trump, I'm going to get the best judge. I'm going to get the smartest guy. I'm going to get somebody who doesn't sit there and go, hey, oh, whenever there's a camera. No wild hair. He's going to look like, and he's not going to say, and he's going to be just, and then they'll hose him. But I'm not going to give anybody any excuse to say, here we go again. Do you know what it is when you see this one? When you got Letitia Baldwin in the James brother, Letitia Baldwin, in the back of the courtroom, kind of sitting there watching. A woman who said, I'm going to get him. And every day her tweets. Did you see this? I know people, I don't like tweets. Well, you better do it. Letitia James, Tish James. That's not it. Hang on a minute. That's not it. Let's go back. Letitia James. Okay, here we go. Let me see. Here we go. New York AG official Twitter account. Today was the third day of our trial against Donald Trump and the Trump Organization. Regardless of how many dangerous, racist comments the former president makes, I am not going to back down from my duty to enforce the law. Can you believe this? I will not be bullied. Our case against Donald Trump and the Trump Organization was brought under the Executive Law 2312, which gives my office the power. This is on the 20. Today, our trial against Donald Trump and the Trump Organization continues. Trump engaged in years of financial fraud to enrich himself and his family, and I am confident in the case we are presenting. Why don't you wait till the case is over? There's no gag order for this. There's no gag rule for this. You're a party. Why does anybody say, hey, shut up? He's got to be quiet. Why aren't you? And there's this real sense of haughty. She sounds like the beginning of Proud Mary. She'll talk about the case. We're going to take the beginning of the song and start off nice and easy. But we never, ever, ever do anything nice and easy. That old Trump is a personification of evil. And I'm giving him the power not to be bullied, stymied, or in any way bamboozled by the degree of unmitigated, inane treachery. I mean, what is going on here? And he writes this piddly little stupid tweet. I think it's his boyfriend. All right, that's enough, Trump. We've had it with you. One more word out of you. But Letitia James is putting on these glorious, these productions, this self-righteous, oh my God, the vanguard of liberty, oh my. Is there anybody? Where is my legal profession? Quiet, scared. They're like the doctors. They're not saying anything. I'm not going to say anything. Why? I'm on my way. Because I got job. I want to get those city contracts, or I want to get this one. 65 project, basically giving lawyers a hard time who dare to. I mean, I can't believe this. There was a time when people like Bill Kunstler would represent the vilest people you can imagine. They just John Adams represented, the Boston Massacre people. I mean, come on. This is the part. This is the part that gets me. I don't understand what's happening. Nobody is saying anything. And let me tell you what's happening. The people on the right are doing nothing. Let me tell you this story. I just did a brand new video on the private channel and some other things. And one of the things is, did you ever hear this story? And maybe you've heard this before. Maybe you've heard this before. Maybe, I don't know. But there are these people who love. Have you seen this new issue, the new iteration of the conservative, kind of like when Alex Jones, you'll never know what Alex Jones was when he first started. He was really good. I mean, he was really good, really interesting, funny. He wasn't a lunatic then. He was very, very good. Not that he's a lunatic now, but it's a different tenor, a different. Okay. Now, there are these people that they say. How many of you have heard the story of Yuri Bezmenov? Remember this one? Yuri Bezmenov is a story of this, quote, KGB agent who came to this country, and he gives you all of the rules. Did you ever see that one? And there are these people, they just love it. For years, they always quote this guy, Yuri Bezmenov. See, this is the KGB. And he goes through the litany of disinformation, and they use this as an example of what's going on now. And Yuri Bezmenov, it's a joke. This is the Frankfurt School. I don't know who this guy is, but you just trust him. You just believe the story. What he's saying goes back to the notion of Dean. Well, there's a word. It begins with an N. Sounds like a Yahtzee, but it's not. Anyway, there were these efforts being made by American propagandists and Soviet post-war that were just, you don't know what we did. You don't know what we did. The American public, I guarantee you, never investigates anything. They just take it. Oh, that's good enough for me. I said, wait a minute. It's like people who believe in the Mediterranean diet. A Mediterranean diet, olive oil, nuts, wine, pasta, Where'd you get that? I don't know. I just sort of heard it. You heard it? That's not true. Well, whatever. There's no research. We have the most passive group of people that just sit back and let Sean Hannity or whoever tell you what's important. They tell you what's important, and you will respond. It's like you're on this cruise ship, and they have the worst food anybody's ever seen. And you're asking yourself, what is going on here? That's all we have. There's no independent study. I mentioned this yesterday. Remember the girl who was this drunk, this recruiting person from a big pharmaceutical house? She's on some New York train, and there's a German duo, and they're speaking German to each other, and she goes nuts, screaming and yelling at them, because they're speaking German. She doesn't like German for whatever the particular reason, and she doesn't like German. Okay, fine. So the issue then becomes, and this is also critical, the issue then becomes, well, what are we what do you do with her? Well, they had to find her because somebody thinks she looks hot. Just like that other crazy woman on a plane who lost her mind and said she heard people in the front, whatever it was. And they focused on her because they thought she was hot. White woman, youngish, blonde, maybe. Now, I know we're changing the subject. I said, what if it was a black woman? I got plenty of those. I got a lot of people. Well, we don't care about that. Women, don't you want to know who this woman is? Because I said, they're going to find this woman. They're going to track her down. Sure enough, they found her. Here's her name. She works for this company, and they fired her. Did you see this? They fired her. So I asked the question that nobody wants to talk about. I don't know why. I said, why is this woman being fired for something she did? Here we go. Drunk woman, drunk, in quotes, fired after telling German tourists on a New York City bound train to get the F out of the U.S. Okay? So they got a hold of her. A New Jersey woman was fired. Okay, this is a 30-year-old talent acquisition specialist at Capital RX. Her name is Brianna Pinnix. Now, I asked this question, and I think it's the most pertinent question and the most interesting question of anybody. Now, this woman is a jerk. She is somebody I loathe and despise. I hate people like this. You ever been in a bar where there's some drunk? I'm sorry, the drunk woman and the boyfriend basically says, "Hey, look," and the drunk goes up to the biggest guy in the bar and gives this guy a hard time. And the boyfriend says, like, "Shut up. No, I'm gonna tell him anything I want." Real tough. You've seen these people. It's the same one who yells, "Ooh," does the woo. When I hear the woo, I go crazy. That's my song. They're playing my song. Oh my God. I don't know who these people are. So anyway, make a long story short. So I asked a question yesterday. So why does she have to be fired? Answer the question. That's a question I ask. Now, it's a private company. You can do whatever you want. The company's going to say, look, we have morals clauses. We don't want any of this problem. We deal with Germans. I understand it. I got it. I'm not really scratching my head on this one. I'm not really losing any sleep. And I'm not really bamboozled or befuddled as to why she's being fired. The question I have is, what does this have to do with why does what you say in your private life have anything to do with your job? That was the first question. I think it's a great question. Nobody's going to get near it because I probably would fire her myself. I'd say, it doesn't matter. So you're all of a sudden, our company's in the, get out of here. But we're losing track about, okay, what if she said, instead of this, what if instead of saying, why don't you get out of our country? How about she's a Yankees, she hates the Yankees, and she says something about the Yankees. Just as drunk, just as mean, but the subject matter was different. Oh, that's okay. We'll give you a pass. So it's not the fact that she was drunk. It's the subject matter. Okay. Now, what if it was a black woman, let's say, who said something either racial or xenophobic? Would there still be the same calling? No. Why? Come on. Now, you know what I know. I don't know why. Why is there different? First of all, why are you only interested in some drunk blonde who does this? It tells me a lot about you. Don't you want to find out about others? Don't you ever track somebody down? Where do they live? And who are these people? And where did this? No. But if it's the blonde white woman, then we're going to, no stone unturned. We got to find out who she is, where is she from. But if it was a a Latina or anybody. Why? That should be the issue. Why are certain people targeted? And I'm not saying she's right. She's despicable. There's this incredible, not racism, but these double, triple standards as to which stories are particularly interesting. Here's one for Jamal Bowman. Gee, I didn't know I confused a fire alarm with a door. If that had been a Republican, forget it. We don't stand in unison and say all we want is a level playing field. What's good for him is good for him. That's it. Now here's another one for you. Nobody's talking about. Again, because I'm watching this stupid Kevin McCarthy. Nobody cares about this. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It's this pretend like, well, we got to be talking about this, right? Right. Well, does anybody care about this? No. Kevin McCarthy was the worst. And the thing they also won't talk to you about is how the real problem was the Ukrainian. Why are we giving money to Ukraine for what exactly? What? We're not even getting the truth. We drag this Borat out. Chauncey Gardner, okay, put on your suit, put on the fatigues. There we go. And it comes out. Hear the story about his wife, how much money she was spending one time when she was in New York, allegedly. I mean, it's the biggest con in the world. Nobody's talking about it. Here's one that'll get you going. Okay. You think they're going to hear this? No, they're not going to hear this you're not going to hear this on any kind of show because, why? They're not going to hear anything about this. By the way, today is 988 days. 988 days since the inauguration. Listen to this one. This is out of California State. Listen to this. California is promoting an approach to math instruction. Oh, you're going to love this one. That's likely to reduce opportunities for disadvantaged students. This is from Reason magazine, a small but growing number of American schools. Oh, this is incorrect English. A small but growing number of American schools are reducing, is reducing. Why? Because the noun is a small number is reducing, okay, or delaying access to advanced courses. Most often, these changes have been enacted in the name of reducing achievement gaps between demographic groups. However, rather than helping marginalized students, these policies deny educational opportunities for gifted students of all backgrounds. Detracking. Got to give it a good name. Detracking is an increasingly popular proposal among educators that attempts to reduce the degree to which students are separated by academic ability. It typically takes the form of removing advanced course offerings or delaying the introduction of these offerings. Supporters claim the marginalized students are often wrongly placed or place themselves in less advanced courses, and that these students often stay on a less advanced curricular path, maybe because they are less mathematically talented. In San Francisco, public schools have eliminated accelerated math courses in middle and high school since 2014. And several Seattle schools had rolled out detracking efforts in 2016. So what we're doing is this. We should be talking about this. America is basically turning over. We are becoming a country of imbeciles, illiterates, fools, criminals, thugs, thieves, larcenists or larceners or thieves, morons, jadrules, monosyllabic, drug-addled, service dog, wimps, thieves, and the like. The lovely and talented Edie Crowley says, true story, I was on a city bus front and a woman of color demanded I give my seat to her. I'm white and blonde. I acquiesced. Okay. That is certainly your cause. I wish somehow we could have had this on film. Because you know what's so funny? I used to think, Edie, that the having things like this on film will flatten, will correct the landscape, and it doesn't. It doesn't. The film only has to be of the right person. There was a woman who, you saw the one who got out of her car and confronted somebody, some guy with a helmet, and he gave her a headbutt. He was wearing a helmet. She happened to be, I believe she was African American, 100% correct in the right. All of a sudden they said, okay, we're going to show this one. I don't understand this. I don't understand how many, and in fact, it works like this. If you work at a newspaper, if you work in, well, whatever, and you see something, if you see a group of Asian kids, black kids, white kids, if you had white kids with MAGA hats, believe me, the first word out of the sentence, because it's the, and we all know this is axiomatic. The level of the double standard is indelible. White is wrong. You do not have any significance. I myself have no appreciation for, maybe it's because of whatever it is, the notion that I am white or non-African American or whatever it is. I mean, I've got all kinds of interesting people in my lineage, but I always consider myself American. And whenever you do a check, it's like, white, yeah, okay, I guess. Means nothing to me. Really, it's like right-handed, left-handed, right-handed. Okay. In the old days, when you would be at you take a test, are you right-handed? Because they used to have desks that were different. That was about it. Okay. The level of the rules have said beginning, and I don't know what year it was. I don't know what year. We're going to do a few things. Beginning now, we're going to take all of the rules, and we're not going to make things even. We're going to flip them. We're going to reverse years of discrimination by making being white the worst thing anybody's ever seen. White is a pejorative, and everywhere you go, you will be able to see, well, you know what? I remember they used to say this, well, you know, Rush Limbaugh, that's the old angry white guy. This was 80, 85, I heard this. That's the old angry white guy. Well, who's the old angry black guy? Ooh, ooh. I never understood that. Well, wait a minute. What are you saying? No. Don't say black. Don't. You can say black if you want to point out a discrepancy, or African American people, or people of, this is before people of color. People of color are still one of my favorites, because it implies that I don't have any color. What am I, blanched, beige? Anyway, don't say it. We want a complete and total change of everything. You understand that? Okay, good. The other day we were talking about something, and somebody was noticing we were talking about a particular media platform. And somebody said, I don't see any people of color on here. I said, so what? Is that presumptively bad? I don't know about you. I'm not a sports fanatic, whatever. But if I see a lot of certain broadcast shows, I see more black announcers. Yeah, but that's different. Well, why is that different? Well, that's different because those were ex-players. Well, why are there more black players than white? Well, it depends. Don't go there. Why can't I go there? Don't go there. Just shut up and listen to what I'm saying. But can I ask the question? Don't ask the question. Is every difference racial, or is it just different? Is it just different? There's all this stuff that's just different. Different foods, different cultures, different music, different people, different cultures, different histories, different languages. They're just different. They're not better. They're not worse. They're not greater or lesser. They're just different. different. Why is that a problem? Tell me, I ask you. Tell me, why is that a problem? Why? Petey's got Petey's birthday. Thanks to all for the birthday wishes. Petey, happy birthday. Birthday. I have a cousin used to say birthday, 8th grade. That's it. Show Petey some love. It's his birthday. Birthday. This is the most stupid thing in the world. It's just so stupid. It's not even. I mean, it's just so stupid. Everything is just so incredibly stupid. And we have gotten to the point where it's just, and everybody knows it, and nobody will say it. And it's just, okay. Are we gonna, how long do we gotta tolerate this? It's just stupid. Nobody will even talk about it. You can't say anything. No, okay. Say nothing? No, say anything. All right. Everything is per se. Now, but here's the best thing. This is the best thing. This is the best thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, the Biden administration, oh, by the way, you notice how Joe Biden all of a sudden, he cares about the border. Did you see that? Joe Biden cares about the border. Isn't that something? Joe Biden is absolutely positive. He now cares about, look at, and Eric Adams is going to New York. What was that thing called, honey? He's going he's going to tell people, don't come to New York, because he wants to make it there's a word for it. He wants to not decertify, but he wants people not to show up. He wants to make people disinclined. He's going to the most incredible thing in the world. I got to get this word. Oh, here we go. Mayor Adams arrives in Mexico to kick off his migrant discouragement tour. There's a picture of him showing up. He's there. Mayor Eric Adams touched down in Mexico's capital city on Wednesday, in the first leg of his 4-day tour in Latin America, where he will try to dissuade migrants from coming to the Big Apple. Adams said before takeoff he plans to, quote, to speak with Central and South American leaders to really start the process of understanding the flow of migrants here to New York City and throughout the country. He wants to understand the flow. He wants to start the process of understanding. He doesn't understand this. Quote, this is the type of conversation we believe we need to have, both local, national, and international, to come up with a resolution. This moron is going to go and have a conversation. Whenever anybody says the word conversation, it's a conversation. It means gibberish, nonsense. He arrived ahead of schedule just before 7 p.m. local time and headed to the historic center of Mexico City, where he was scheduled to speak to business leaders. Don't come to New York. Why do you want to come to New York? I am the mayor of New York City. I don't understand why you want to come to New York. What, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Dear God. How does this even work? With a straight face. This is what we're doing. He is a moron. I am telling you, I have never, that, for example, we've never seen anybody who is, oh, by the way, Moorman said, Mr. Lionel gives me hope to know someone else cares about the English language, thinks, contemplates far too much at times, hates BS and nonsense, reveres the Constitution, and hates people who just talk. Thank you, sir. Moorman, you have made my day. That is the nicest thing anybody has said. Yes, I do love the English language. I'm constantly trying to figure out ways of I want to speak it correctly. And by the way, that doesn't mean that you cannot have your own particular patois, your own particular phraseology and regionalism. I don't care about this. But listen, you can't listen to Joe Biden without realizing this man is out of his mind. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And listen 5 seconds to Eric Adams, and you realize he's a moron. He's a moron. And I don't understand this. This is the part that I will never understand. There are people who don't speak English. There are people I know who have accents. They're from other countries. You can hear it. Their words are perfect. If a stenographer takes down what they're saying and you read it, you wouldn't be able to read the accent, but you would say, but this is exactly right. He makes plural nouns singular. He leaves off. He's a moron. I'm not going to mention the name. Oh, God forbid. There's another one who I don't know what the purpose of this is. They keep saying the United States, and you could tell everybody on the panels went like, God, how do you get state out of the United States? Have you not ever seen this word? What is the matter? We're the same people who want to destroy math studies to make it easy peasy for everybody else. I'm disgusted by this. It makes me sick. I'm tired of it. And that's why Hannity should say, I want Steve Scalise if he's there for a week. You're not going to tell us. You've got a brain-dead moron as a president. You've got Dianne Feinstein, who was necrotic, bless her heart. She's no longer with us. I don't know how long it took for her to. I don't understand. None of this makes any sense to me anymore. I have no party. I have no country. I have a country. I've got you, but I mean, I don't have anything. And I'm supposed to sit around and do what? And listen to this constant Trump. They either hate Trump. There is so much good word. There's so much good stuff out there. That's why it's so critical for you to make sure you do your own studies. But what we need to do is ask ourselves simply this. We need to have a show somewhere that says we have to destroy this artificial separation of treatment based upon race, where if you're this race, you get a pass, or if you're this race, not only do you not get a pass, you don't have any kind of benefit. This is America. It starts like this. Starting now, we're going to go to school. And you, because either you're from an impoverished background or a not so impoverished background, whether you're from a rich, a storied, whatever, you are going to be given a test. And this test is going to determine this. And we don't know who you are. We're going to look at the results. We're going to leave your name off. We don't know who did this. I'm assuming it's standardized and there's no need to, talk to people. And whoever does the best is going to go into this group. If you're 100% Chinese, fine. Or Chinese American or whatever, I don't care. If you're 0% black, 0% Italian, 0% white, I don't care. Go there. In sports, whoever is better goes. Don't care what your sport. I don't care what your sport. Nobody in sports ever wants, hey, we got to have more of a diversity. No, stop it. And the thing is that white people and leaders have become so plagued with guilt that they've taken, I guess, leave of their absence of their minds. And they've realized, listen, there are some things where I think it matters. There are some things in totally discretionary areas where distinctions are made. No. Laws that said that black people can't marry. No. But if there is a test, if there is an entrance, I remember years ago there was a thing about the bar exam is going to be non-existent pretty soon, but there was a test. It was a thing years ago that said, a number of, this is before they had people of color, but a number of people said the bar exam is biased. Why? Because there's a higher percentage of black applicants, whatever, who failed. Well, why is that the test? Well, it's obviously, no. Why is it the test? Do you believe that there's anything inherently intellectually inferior about black people? I don't. I don't. And you can look at the bell curve and all this other kind of stuff. Human beings? No. Brain, no. Nutrition, health, background, society, social. Yes, of course. Things that can affect, absolutely. This goes. We need to be having hearings on this, Jim Jordan. Not these pretend hearings you have where you have Merrick Garland, you yell at him, and then he goes back and he laughs because something ever happens. Nothing ever comes of it. We have to have a conversation. We live in a country right now where people are saying that a man is not a man, a woman is not a woman, and that's fine. You know what? That may be great. And I've always said, what you think personally is up to you. You can think anything you want. You can. We all know that, but we are at a point right now that we are so bereft, so devoid, so absent. What appears to be, I think, patently obvious common sense, and we should be talking about that. Beginning now, there's no difference anymore. None. We integrated the military. Great. Desegregate. Great. Couldn't understand that one. I don't understand. Unless somebody comes along and does something and fixes us, we're doomed. Now, let me say something also, my friends. Very, very critical. I want you to make a note of this right now. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Right now, you can enjoy some of the most incredibly important, wonderful sales products, the Giza sheets, the MyPillow 2.0 pillows that through some kind of a design have actively sought to be and are in fact, this is interesting, cooler, more comfortable by virtue of technology. Incredible. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Go and see for yourself. Take advantage of these incredible deals, clearance sales, and overstocks. Name it. MyPillow.com, America's favorite site for luxuriation. And look and see what you can avail yourselves of. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Do it and do it now. But don't forget, promo code Lionel. I have never met, well, I shouldn't say this. There were some people I have known, certainly not friends of mine, who were very anti-Semitic, very, very, they were racist. By the way, they never said anything. They never, ever said anything that could be construed as racist. But their attitudes were very dangerous. And it's that person that I find to be more problematic, not somebody who understands whatever it is. So, my friends, I'm telling you right now, we live in a world that is so devoid of anything, even remotely reflecting reality. We have who I think most people agree is the greatest president in our lifetime. Great, not only in terms of accomplishments, but just in terms of politically, who was on trial in the biggest kangaroo court in the Soviet style. I don't know what this thing is. Who can't even speak. And I wish people would just stop with this stupid Kevin McCarthy thing and say, a former president and a gag order? They don't care how it looks. With the current attorney general going and tweeting, I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. Why? Math scores being destroyed. Society being destroyed. And every day we start off by being handed here is your list of ingredients. It's almost like I was on a show years ago called Ready, Set, Cook. And it was a Food Network. And we went, it's called Ready, Set, Cook. And I went to it and they like hand you, you sort of pick your ingredients, but that's what people are here today. They wake up in the morning and they look and they say, I'm supposed to talk about this today. No, it's not. It's not about that. It's ridiculous. All right, dear friends, you have a great and glorious day. I thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your focus. Thank you for everything. And please, I ask you as well, it means a lot to me. I got a brand new newsletter coming out. A brand new newsletter, and I want you to pay attention to this one. Before I forget, I just did this really good one I thought about. This is on the private channel I do. This is a good one. This is where you get to say whatever you want. And you won't be bounced or what have you, which is a wonderful thing. Also, this is the newsletter. The newsletter is critical. I want you to make sure you sign up for that. And also, Mrs. L has a brand new, some great podcasts. I want you to make sure you listen to her because, believe me, She is the best voice on the subject. A lot of these folks, I'm sorry, they really, how do I say this? A lot of these folks said, hey, this is a great topic, and they thought it was cool, but they weren't in for the long haul. They weren't in for the long haul, and they didn't seem to care about how they were going to handle things ultimately. So they kind of pooped out. And they tried to push the glamour thing, and they said the word pedophile every 5 minutes, and then they realized they didn't know what they were talking about. Mrs. Held is still there. This is her channel. Please go right now and click on that, and you will go right to the subscription page. It is the most important site for information regarding our children and what is happening and how nobody cares. Okay? All right. Also, make sure you subscribe here. I got more videos coming down the line. Until then, my friend, we'll see you tonight at 7 p.m. Don't ever change. Let me try this again. Don't ever change. I mean that sincerely. And until then, remember, as we always say, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.